As a child, I would usually get in trouble because I was very mischievous, which some of you know that I still am. But every time that mom or dad would get after me, and they would give me a consequence for my actions, they would always remind me that the consequence that they gave me was because they loved me. Because they knew that if I had carried on this behavior, I was either going to hurt myself, hurt someone else, or cause distress upon the family. And so every time that they would give me a consequence, it was out of love and out of wanting to rear me in appropriate ways. Now, when we hear the gospel of today, stop judging, I get tired of hearing it being said time and time again when it comes to truly calling out a sin for a sin. There is absolutely, brothers and sisters, a moral objective that goes in line with God's mandates and commandments. And there is absolutely a right from a wrong. And I am tired that as Catholics and as Christians, we are told that we should be silent in speaking against injustices and immoralities in the world. They keep saying, well, if it feels good to me, then it's not bad. Well, if we keep going down that slippery slope, eventually all of creation will be absolutely in chaos and absolutely lost. You see, God continues to call us to live in objective truth, to live in the reality that there is absolute right and absolute wrong, and those things are set before us by God through His church. And it is time for us, my brothers and sisters, to be prophetic, to speak truth, to no longer be afraid to say what is right and what is wrong. This is precisely why St. John Fisher and St. Thomas More were beheaded by King Henry VIII, because both of them refused to fall into moral relativism. They refused to obey the land of the law that went against the law of God. And for that reason, they were martyred. And so it's time for you and for me, as Christians and as Catholics, looking upon the world that continues to spew out not hate against themselves, but hate against Christians who speak truth, that it's time for us to be prepared for the great possibility of holy martyrdom. Yes, as we speak the gospel, people will despise us. But remember that before they despised us, they despised Jesus Christ. The apostles all suffered because they proclaimed the truth. And this is who Mother Church is. We should not cower away from speaking objective realities, objective moralities. Now, it doesn't mean that we walk around and thump everybody in the head with the Bible, but it does mean that we speak when we see injustices. The Holy Spirit calls us to speak out. The Holy Spirit encourages us to speak out. And we should not be afraid. This whole movement that we hear today of being absolutely politically correct, and then we use the word prudent as a place of saying, oh, we shouldn't offend anybody. Well, I'm sorry to say this, brothers and sisters, but sometimes when we speak the truth offends. But it also brings us to a place of salvation. And that is what we are called to do. To encourage our brothers and sisters to accept and receive the grace of Jesus Christ, to come to salvation. May we be courageous. May we truly speak truth, even when we're hated for it. Because when we speak truth, we are assured that we too secure our place in heaven, because we have tried to bring others to salvation.